This Florida cooking segment is brought to you by Fresh from Florida. Remember, delicious is always served fresh from Florida.
Today on the show, Ponce and I
Okay.
are celebrating 500 years of Florida agriculture.
Oh, my head's still ringing. On this Florida cooking segment, Chef Justin and I are looking at Florida's food history.
And what a history it is. Look at all this amazing stuff.
Wow.
It's pretty incredible. You know, it's Florida's amazing climate and weather conditions that allow us to grow all year long, and especially during the winter months for the entire eastern United States.
So, Chef, is this your work?
Yeah, absolutely.
You laid this out?
Yeah, I didn't grow it, but I laid it out.
You laid it out. Is it alphabetical order? No, it can't be. We've got zucchini over here, got oranges over here. And amazingly, this is just a small sample. You know, I didn't know that Florida produces over 300 agricultural products and are distributed all around the world.
That's correct. Pretty amazing feat.
Absolutely amazing. Powerhouse. Florida is an agricultural
juggernaut.
What he said.
If Florida has a founding father, there's no doubt it would be the great Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon. 2013 marks the 500-year anniversary of when this courageous conquistador discovered the new land he would name La Florida, Land of Flowers. To commemorate this historical milestone, the Sunshine State has launched Viva Florida 500, a year-long celebration with cultural and heritage events hosted throughout the state to honor Florida's New World discovery in 1513.
So, Chef, why is Florida such a great place for agriculture?
Well, that's a great question. Well, it's a combination of several things. Our climate, our weather, our soil conditions. It's like the perfect storm for growing all year round.
Okay, that's a good little factoid, but did you know that Florida is number 2 in squash production?
Florida is number 1 in the production of snap beans.
Oh, we were doing a little game here, a little
That's
factoid
right.
game?
Yeah. What do you got? What do you got?
Let's see, let me recall. Florida, the corn industry, over $100 million every year. What do you think of that?
Wow.
What do you got?
You've been studying a little bit, huh?
Studying, yeah.
Not bad, not bad. But tomatoes are the second leading crop in
man.
the entire state of Florida.
You went tomatoes. I can't believe you went tomatoes.
I know. What do you have now?
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
Sugarcane, number 1. Go.
That's pretty good.
Your turn.
I got over $230 million worth of seafood coming out of the state of Florida every year.
Wow. Did you know that Florida is awesome? Huh? Did you know that? Huh?
That I did, my friend. That's why I
you
live
did that
here.
one. All right, you win, Chef.
When Ponce de Leon waded ashore on Florida's east coast, he may not have found the fountain of youth, but what he did find is a land of abundance. The native peoples of Florida enjoyed a rich bounty provided by the land and sea. Wildlife, along with fish, shellfish, and crabs, were a large part of their diet. But they also grew squash, cucumbers, beans, and corn. European explorers were often shocked at the size of Florida native Indians, who were tall and powerfully built. Most agree this had a lot to do with their healthy diet, thanks to their skilled farming methods. Later, when the early settlers began arriving in Florida, they planted many of the fruits and vegetable crops that we still grow today.
Florida without citrus is not a place I want to be.
Don't want to be there.
I've got another one for you.
Oh, we're doing this again.
Yes, we're citrus fact smackdown.
We're doing it again. What do you got?
Number 1. What is Florida number 1 in? Grapefruit production, y'all. You knew that.
The citrus industry is the leading agricultural industry in Florida. Booyah!
Ponce de Leon planted the first orange trees in St. Augustine. The citrus, which he brought from Spain, flourished in Florida's sandy soil. And by 1736, citrus was already being commercially grown and exported to the northern colonies, and even to foreign countries. Old Ponce couldn't have known those citrus saplings he stuck in the ground would blossom for his beloved La Florida. Growing citrus is now a $9 billion industry and Florida's number 1 agricultural product. In 1521, Ponce de Leon led an expedition back to Florida with plans to set up a colony. He brought a small herd of Spanish Andalusian cattle. These were the first cattle to ever set hoof in America. They were a robust, heat-tolerant breed. They were resistant to parasites and flourished on the low-quality forage of the Florida landscape. As more settlers made their way to Florida with large herds of Spanish livestock, the first North American cattle ranches were born. By the late 1800s, Florida was America's leading cattle exporter, and the Spanish breed came to be known as Florida Cracker cattle. Ranchers across America sought out the hardy cracker cattle to crossbreed with the larger European stock. The tough Florida cracker cattle genetics strengthened Midwest herds and helped lead to what would become the American cattle industry.
So the cow, Ponce de Leon.
Yep.
A little respect here.
A lot of respect for
Wow.
Ponce de Leon. I really did not know that he brought all those things to Florida.
Yeah, pretty cool.
including cattle.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
But it makes sense because you drive up and down the state of Florida, you see cattle all over the place, and that's because Florida is a billion-dollar cattle industry, and that is a huge number.
When Ponce de Leon stepped foot on the sandy beaches of Florida's East Coast in 1513, it marked a pivotal moment in history. It was the beginning of a journey that would cultivate this wild and exotic place into one of the most fertile farming environments in the world. Agriculture is one of the strongest pillars of Florida's economy, with assets of upwards to $100 billion annually. Plus, the agricultural industry provides nearly 100,000 jobs for Floridians. Earlier, Chef Justin and I had the privilege to cook with Agricultural Commissioner Adam Putnam. I asked him for a little perspective on Florida's $100 billion agricultural industry.
There's just so much about Florida agriculture people don't realize. It's huge. It's the second largest industry in the state, right behind tourism.
Right.
We've got the largest beef cattle herd in the country is between Disney and Cape Canaveral. And of course, one of our signature industries is citrus. When you look at the diversity and the bounty of what Florida produces, from the seafood, the grouper, the stone crabs, the wonderful vegetables that come into season in the wintertime, it's very cool. We're real proud of that.
That's a good point.
And we like to shine a light on the folks that are building their piece of the American dream here in Florida, and that's what makes Florida so special.
Hey, so next time you grab an orange, know you're holding over 500 years of Florida history in your hands.
That's right, whether it's beef, seafood, fruit, or vegetables, make it fresh from Florida. Happy anniversary, Florida!
This Florida cooking segment was brought to you by Fresh from Florida. Remember, delicious is always served fresh from Florida.